My name's Steve Pechoric, go by my nickname Wiz. I race NMRA in the Open Comp class. This year for 2016, I finished number 15 in the country. Next year, 2017, I hope to be in top 10. I started racing with my uncle, about 14 years old. My uncle John Wilson, my mom's little brother, he had a 58 Chevy back home in Nebraska, and I'd help him work on it. Got me hooked into racing, and when I was legal, old enough to buy a car, I bought a 69 Mustang. It was my first race car. Building cars faster and faster, and ended up getting off the street racing because it's too dangerous. Do it on the track where it belongs. I started racing Division 5, which is Nebraska and Colorado, and I was running bracket class, and moved over to NMRA, which is National Mustang Racing Association, and got involved in Open Comp class. And that's where I really like to run. It's just a bunch of good people in it, good competitors, and good company, the NMRA, good supporters of us. We're all real close. I mean, we run 6 races a year, and we help each other all during a race. You're not competing against them, you're competing against yourself. And it's just, you're like family. When my mom was in the hospital, I had friends of mine that never even knew my mom were calling me, that I raced with, asking how my mom was. We're all very close. We barbecue together at the races, you hang out, you help each other on a car. As in one example, several years ago, I was racing Randy Conway. He was my first round to race. Well, he had some problems with his car. I had the parts. I loaned him the parts, and he beat me. But it was great, you know. I mean, you want to see all of us have a good time together, and we're just all good friends. You keep in touch when the season ends, like it just ended, October. We won't see each other till March. And a lot of them live up north, almost to Canada. And they come down here, first race of the year in March. So you don't see each other. And it gets pretty lonely not seeing your friends like that. My cousin Chucky in Nebraska, Chucky May, him and his buddies started out the name of it, the Empty Pockets Racing, because, well, you don't have anything in your pockets when you're racing. It's not a cheap hobby. You know, it's very expensive, and yes, you win money, you don't make money. You do it for more the enjoyment, and like I said, to see friends and the closeness with them. The day you get there to the race, you're setting up the car, the trailer, your canopy. You got to tech the car in. You take it to have it. It's got to be inspected. Make sure it is legal to race and everything. And sometimes we get not qualifying runs, test runs. And everything you got to look on the car, tires, make sure the tire pressure is right. You always check your lug nuts. There's a lot of things you go over on the car front to rear, because anything can loosen up. So you want to make sure the car is safe. And there's many things that go through your mind when you're doing a burnout, when you pull up to start the race. Do you want to do a short burnout, a long burnout, keep it in first gear, longer or second gear, short burnout? How's the weather? How's the track conditions? You're talking to your friends you race with, and we all communicate on how the thing's doing. How's your car run? Is it pulling more to the right? Does it pull to the left? Do you spin at the 80-foot mark, or the 60-foot mark, or the 300-foot mark? And it's the acceleration of this Mustang here that I'm running. It has literally been on the rear bumper at 300 feet going down the track. Anything could happen at any time, and there is no time for error. Well, the adrenaline is just going over the wall. And just, even right now, thinking about it, it's just, you're nervous, you're scared, because if you're not nervous and scared, you should get out of the car, because it's very dangerous. You always should worry about what's going to happen. And anything could happen, like I said, any time. But when the lights go down, you're hoping you don't screw up, which is don't red light. Don't take off too soon. You want to try to get what we call a .00 light, you know, but sometimes you don't cut good lights. The car spins. You don't react right. But it's, the adrenaline is just so high and you're focused on that tree. You don't even know you're running against anybody. It's just, like I said, the adrenaline flow is just unbelievable. I mean, and the acceleration on the car, because it'll put you in the back, you want to make sure you are leaning back into your seat, because if not, it will throw you back there into the seat. And it's to feel that acceleration, the, you know, the torque on a car, the way it leaves. And I have a GoPro camera in the car that usually you can watch the wheel stands the car is doing. My main sponsor really is Melvin Horn. He is the owner of Extreme Fabrications. He does all my welding on the car. He's a certified welder. He does all the fab work, the custom work that needs to be done on the car. I don't mess with it because I'm not a certified type welder as he is. And he races and he helps out with my work on the car. He does not help out. Melvin does 90% of all the work on my car. Sets up the car. The car is very consistent when it runs straight. And it always does run straight. The driver who messes up sometimes. Contingency sponsors, we have stickers that are on the car we put like on the rear window. Like Mickey Thompson tires. They're a contingency sponsor as long as you run all 4 tires. And you have the sticker on the car. If you win a race, you get $150 for winning the race from Mickey Thompson. And second place is $75. And you don't just put a sticker on the car to get the money. You have to run the product that is on the rear windows. And that's only fair. You should run the product. And all the stickers I have on the car, I run all their products. And I do support them. The license you have to have, if you run quicker than a 9.99 in the quarter, or just say faster than a 10-second quarter mile, you have to have a driver's license. You have to have literally a driver's license to run any category in NMRA or NMCA or NHRA. You have to have a license to compete in any racing field. You got to be at least a minimum of 16 years old and hold a license. But when you run in the faster categories that I am, you have to also hold a competition license. And you have to make 6 runs with other licensed drivers that will sign off on your racing. I got my competitive license 8 years ago. And I can only run fast as 750s in the quarter mile is my license. If I want to go quicker, I've got to now recertify myself at a track with a car that is going to run faster than 750s in the quarter to get my new license. But all I can run now is 750s in the quarter. It's the fastest my license will allow me to run. You always should be wearing a helmet anytime drag racing. It's safety. And in my category, in my class, I have to wear a 3-layer fire suit. This is a coat and pants and gloves. And this is a neck brace that actually goes under the helmet after you put the helmet on. And it actually goes like this. And then the helmet, of course, is on top of you. And they're not very cool suits. You'll get very hot. And you have safety equipment, of course, in the car. You've got to have seat belts, and they're certified. You can only run them 2 years. And my helmet, you can only run 3 or 4 years. It has to be recertified, or you got to buy new helmets. But it's safety first in anything in racing. You have the fun second. There's a reason for safety. That's why it's in the car. My fuel system is in the trunk. I've got a 5-gallon fuel cell. And there's a firewall in between me and the fuel cell in case the car gets hit, not hit, but you run into the wall or you roll the car. So if it does ignite or explodes, you have seconds to get out. Fire suits are not designed for minutes. They're designed for seconds. And that's the worst fear for me in racing, is a fire. Not hitting the wall is the fire. The back of the car, what we call laundry. That's the parachute. And on all cars that run faster at 150 miles an hour, it has got to be on the car. And you don't always need to deploy the parachute, which means pull the cord so the chute comes out. But there are times you need it on a short track. But a lot of times I don't use it at all. But if the car gets in a situation where the car is what we call dancing, like this, you can pull the chute and it will deploy and straighten the car out. And then on the back of the car with it, there is what we call a wing. And that actually has downforce on the back of the car. It actually keeps the tires planted more to the ground. And without a wing, you can get air that comes over the car and goes under the car and will actually lift the car up off the ground, which is very dangerous at 150 miles an hour. And the car is a naturally aspirated car, which we call it. It's a regular motor. I have no nitrous. It's all motor. And it's a small block Dart motor, 427 cubic inch motor. And the motor was built by Mark Hedrick. And the transmission is an Allen Cole transmission. It is a 2-speed power glide. It is a Pro billet transmission, designed only for drag racing. And there's so much on the cars to try to explain everything with the car. And it's like I said, it's a 2-speed, and all the shifting is away from reverse and neutral, because it's safety features. You want to shift away from those 2 points, because if any reason you went past neutral and hit reverse at 150 miles an hour, it will go in reverse.